Hi, I'm Jordan.
And I'm Kit.
Welcome to Starry Time, where stars plus lines.
Eco Stories.
In this week's episode, we'll be getting silly and exploring the pop culture of the constellation Microscopium.
In this episode, we share our favorite and least favorite occurrences of this month's constellation in pop culture,
And we mean that very broadly.
especially this month. And then we end by taking over the brand to wish upon a star for what we wish existed.
For this month, Microscopium, Microscope, and literal appearances of microscopes in pop culture are fair game.
Yeah, Microscopium, a bit of a challenge. We definitely needed the leeway for sure.
All right, Kit. I went with the mighty microscope,
Hmm.
formerly Monsanto's mighty
Oh,
microscope. The Monsanto mighty microscope
okay.
was the centerpiece of the former Disneyland dark ride Adventure Through Outer Space. 12-foot high, 37-foot long
Mm,
microscope. It was the centerpiece of the queue, and it
mm,
featured an optical trick where passengers in atom mobiles, pretty
mm,
good, appeared to
mm-hmm.
shrink down to a few inches tall as they traveled
Wow.
through a tube and into the ride. So right
Wow, I
now,
love this.
yes. So it was replaced by Star Tours. However, Imagineers
Mm,
did hide a tribute to it on the Death Star trench runs. So when you're
mm,
on Star Wars, the adventure continues. If you look carefully while we're attacking the Death Star, you will
mm.
be able to see the classic Monsanto mighty microscope somewhere on the Death Star.
Do like this idea of like the microscope, and then as you're walking through the queue, you then feel small. I do like that a lot, and I did definitely didn't see this. Otherwise, it would have definitely been up on my list.
So I went with the mighty microscope itself, all 40 feet long of it.
Mm.
Where did you go with this one?
Yeah, so I have two picks for favorite. The first is the Microscope Gallery. It is located in New York City. It's a contemporary art gallery, and quote, it shows time-based works, particularly film, sound, and digital and performance art. On their website, their logo has a little cute microscope on it. I don't know anything about contemporary art. So, like on the Wikipedia, it has a bunch of artists who have links. So, I assume they're famous. I don't know anything about it. I do wish that it was microscope based art, like photographs and drawings and microscope things. But I like the name, I like the logo, and art is good.
Kit, I did see the microscope gallery, actually. I
Mhm.
saw that it was actually located in a part of Brooklyn that I used to live in. And I think I might have
Hmm.
actually walked past this microscope gallery
Hmm.
more than a few times. Bushwick is not gigantic. Currently, it's now on the other side of New York in Manhattan.
So I'm just going to copy this picture over, and you'll immediately recognize a Dr. Baby Dr. Wu.
That's my least favorite use of the microscope. You beat me to
No.
it. This is one of your honorable mentions for favorite.
Yeah, it's my second favorite.
You've seen what this man does with a microscope.
Well, we don't see him using the microscope, to be fair. It's just in the background.
He is way too close to it. All right, for our listeners, this is one of the more iconic moments of a microscope in our childhood, besides Honey, I Shrunk the
Mhm,
Kids. It
mhm.
is the microscope, one of many that appears in the laboratory scene in the first half an hour or so of Jurassic Park. From here, how you feel about Dr. Wu and the microscope is really a matter of personal taste because he has hit some high highs and some low lows.
Yeah, I mean, we did name Scorpius Rex one of our least favorite pop culture appearances of Scorpio slash Scorpius way back in season one. The D Rex is just unpleasant to look at. We talk about that frequently. But remember, and everybody, if you're listening, you need to get into Camp Cretaceous. You need to watch Chaos Theory. You need to watch the animated stuff because Wu goes on a character arc, and he comes around. Spoilers. All right, so even though that was your first least favorite, what is your backup least favorite, Jordan?
So my second backup is an album, a debut studio album by Riz MC, not MC Riz. It
Mm-hmm.
is titled Microscope with MIC
Mm-hmm.
capitalized.
Mm-hmm.
And I gave it a few listens, and I
Mm-hmm.
agree with Adam Kennedy of BBC in his comment. While his flow isn't the most natural on the block, the warts and all streams of consciousness refuse to exclude anything on his mind, which I think is not a compliment.
Mm.
His flow, bad, and his stream of conscious lyrics also could use a lot of editing. So shout out to Riz MC. He did
Mm.
not create another album for another 10 years.
Yeah, I mean, music is very personal, and so of course I'll post some of these songs on our socials, and you can decide for yourself. Is it in your favorite category or your least favorite category, or just maybe your neutral category?
If it wasn't Dr. Wu's absurd and evil creations, where did you go for your least favorite appearance of the microscope in pop culture?
Okay, so my least favorite has a picture to go along with it, but the picture is not necessary, although, of course, on our socials, I'll post it. Um, my least favorite appearance of a microscope comes in the form of the many times we see a microscope on Star Trek, the original series. Um, it looks exactly like a microscope the year that the original series was created. And you would just think that by that time, one, we wouldn't have, Bunsen burners on a starship, and two, we'd have something a little more advanced than a microscope that looks exactly like every other microscope. But I'm not alone in thinking this. So there's a memo from Robert H. Justman to Gene Roddenberry from June 1966, suggesting just like getting rid of the microscope altogether. And he writes, I wish we could, as I don't want to have to design and construct what would appear to be a microscope of the future. And as it turns out, I guess they didn't really care to do that because they just used a regular microscope. And I frankly, I think it is bad.
It's your least favorite. It's an extremely personal decision. Everyone, I would ask you to go to the Memory Alpha, aka
Mhm.
the Star Trek Wikipedia. There
Yes.
is an entry on the microscope. And yes, its appearances in Star Trek, I would not say have been well received. Okay, Kit, what do you wish used the Microscopium brand?
So I want the Microscopium experience, which is an interactive theme space where you become microscopically sized. It's basically Body Wars, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, apparently Mighty Microscope. Adventure through inner space, which I didn't know about. Just rebrand it with a, worse name. I mean, they have, children's museums, and I feel like this is a good premise for a children's museum too. Like, just make things gigantic in there, like things that would normally be small. I don't know. I think it could be fun, but it's something that definitely exists already. I'm just taking the Microscopium brand and plopping it on there.
I think you're doing just as good as anybody else can do with this brand. My wish for may also exist in real life, but I did not want to look further to find
Mhm.
out because it was so hard to
Mhm.
come up with. Lakai,
Mhm.
this is your fault directly. There
Mhm.
probably shouldn't be a microscope constellation.
Mhm.
What I wished existed was Microtelescopium. Just
Mhm.
combine a microscope with a telescope. Look through one eye, you get the microscope. Look through the other eye, you get a telescope. It's kind of the best of both worlds.
I think this is an interesting idea. I like the idea of a two-in-one tool of science that does small, like can make small things big, and then like you can look up into the sky with. I have a lot of questions about the mechanics of it. Um, if one eye, if it has two eyepieces, but they do different things, they'd have to point in different directions. If it was one thing with like maybe you'd need a change outline. Well, anyways, I'm intrigued by the concept, and I'm not going to worry about how practically it would work.
Well, it's only a matter of time before one of our wishes comes true.
This has been Kit,
And Jordan.
sisters who love stars and stories
And we'll see you next time.
on Story Time.